Hey there YouTube, this is UnrealBeserker here doing another deck profile of my second competitive deck, Little City. It's more of an animated build of Little City, but unfortunately it does not have warning, because I don't feel like shelling 80 a pop for it. It's also not Miracle Gemini, because I don't feel like getting those fusions at an outrageous price. And the fact that actually this deck runs really well without them anyway, because I get more room for more defensive traps, and you'll see in a sec just a few cards that generally Miracle Gemini doesn't run. Anyway, I'll get on with the deck. Unlike Formula Monarchs, I'll be explaining each card choice as I go along, because this is my first video of Little City, so some people might not know how this deck works. Rai-ohs, it's a gadget with 18 attack. Searches any Elemental Hero monster from my deck when it's summoned or special summoned, which is pretty useful because I do like Call Haunted with this card. Works really nicely. Anyway, he searches out my 3 Elemental Hero Neos Alias. Neos Alias is the heart of the deck, and only because it's a 19 beat stick that's a Gemini that is light and it's an Elemental Hero. It's not run for its effect, because its effect sucks. It's just, I can Gemini summon it to waste my normal summon to be treated as Elemental Hero Neos, which really doesn't help me at all. So, but that's part of the reason why I love this deck, just the fact that a deck can be run around a 19 beat stick with no real effect. Anyway, triple Thunder King Rai-oh. And a meta, which is actually a really good card. He's actually a really good card right now with 6 Sams running wild. They're triple smoke signals, and they're single Rhoda. Thunder King stops all that. Also with DKs and their Recruiter. Hit over Recruiter without fear. Also, he can tribute himself to negate an inherent special summon, which comes in handy often, especially when I have skill drain out. So anyway, 2 Cyber Dragons, add some muscle to the deck, helps hit over shit that's been hitting over my 19s. Adds more aggro, so I can just like first turn drop Sidra if I feel like my opponent has nothing to do, or just can't do anything. But yeah, it's just a good option to have in the deck and help boost up the monsters so my monsters aren't terribly low. Anyway, next is the anti-Xian cards. These monsters all have their own individual way of killing Xian. We'll start with Grand Mole, bounce Xian, and I still have Grand Mole to use for later. He's also great for bouncing face-down monsters for when my opponent's low on life and just setting. Honest helps Alias run over Xian, or let Xian run over, or let Xian suicide into an Alias. That's always fun. Also works to protect Thunder King Rai-oh when my opponent's trying to do everything they can to get it off the field. DD Warrior Lady takes Xian to the remove from grade pile with her. The only reason why I only run one of these is the fact that it still takes some battle damage from that, and that can kind of add up, especially with some of the other cards I run. Also, again, she doesn't work under skill drain, and skill drain is a rather large part of this deck. And then Gale, have the attack of Xian and then run over it with 50 attack to spare. Great card. Also, it's a level 3 tuner, so I have some synchro options, and goes great with Sidra. Special Sidra, normal Gale, have the attack, Synchro Stardust, shenanigans. Anyway, on to the spells. By the way, that was 13 monsters. Here's Monster 14, Monster 15 as well. Ecall and Rhoda. Really, they only search out Rai-ohs. That's like their idea, to search out Rai-ohs. But they can also search out Alias if I already have Rai-ohs. And Rhoda can also search out DD Warrior Lady if I can. Essentially, they're just more copies of Rai-ohs. It's just not as good, because Rai-ohs can't search for these. That'd be kind of funny. But anyway. Triple Gemini Spark. They're one of the 2 cards that make Alias so good. Basically, my opponent's going to try and get rid of Alias, and when they summon something that's bigger than Alias, I'll just spark it away. Or if they target Alias with something, I'll just spark it away. Or spark something else, and then I end up gaining advantage. MSTs, staple. Book of Moon helps me stop shit. It's a good card. Reborn, Dark Hole. Both great cards. They work even better together, if you didn't know that. Hero Blast, great card. Chainable Destruction, and the fact that it acts as a 4th and 5th alias, because it constantly recycles my aliases out of the graveyard to my hand, and it's just a great advantage during Machine. It's the other card that makes alias just so amazing. 2 Skill Drain. Absolutely love this card. It's won me games, many games, in fact. It costs 1,000 life points. All effects are negated. All effects on the field negated. Just remember that, because there are ways around it by having effects activate in the grave or in the hand. But anyway, it makes it really difficult for my opponent to do anything to get over my alias or my Thunder Kings. This plus Thunder King's really good, but that means they can search out cards, but it still means I can negate that inherent special summons. Royal Oppression wins games. Staple in any kind of anti-meta deck. Can be dead draw when you're versing an anti-meta deck, but it's worth the slot. It definitely is worth the slot. Triple D Prison. Beefs up the back row. Makes my opponent think twice when swinging with floaters like Recruiter and Card Trooper, thinking that they're just going to thinking that they're going to get rid of my back row and not take any loss to their card advantage. No. Deep Prison is a 1-for-1 in just about every situation. Great card. 2 Bottomless. Still a great card in my opinion, but I'm poor and just hiding the fact that I don't have warning. But it's still a good card against certain decks and can be dead draw against certain decks. All in all, I'd still run the Bottomless, because nothing's more fun to see like 5 enemy monsters removed from play from my 2 Bottomlesses and my 3D Prisons, if I happen to draw all of them. Next we have Staple Mass Destruction, Torrential, and Mirror. Both serve their own purpose. It's up to you if you had to run one, it's up to you what you'd run. Personally, I think in a deck like this, I'd probably run the Torrential. Anyway, Call the Haunted helps bring back Stratos for more alias searching, and brings back rai-ohs if my opponent was trying everything in their power to get rid of it. It's always funny just to bring it back. Solemn negate shit, deal with it. 7 tools, negate enemy Solemns and any other defensive trap. And then last 2 cards are hand control cards, Dust Shoot and Mind Crush. Always great when they work together, but unfortunately I'm not a stacker, so I don't draw this very often. And Dust Shoot can be dead at times. Mind Crush is usually never dead though. Just the fact that it's really easy to call what my opponent has. Anyway, that's Light Hero Beat for you. It's a very good deck. I would definitely suggest running something like this, or although it might take a backseat to Worms once I get all my cards to finish it up. Anyway, this is Unreal Berserker. Peace.